This episode of the Totally Rad Show is brought to you by GameFly. Coming up, it's such a classic game that's now coming to the 3DS. We check out Kid Icarus, Uprising.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Totally Rad Show. We've got a great week of content for you. Today we are getting our hands on the 3DS remake of Kid Icarus.
This is right, Kid Icarus Uprising.
More of a reboot, if you're a stickler for semantics.
Okay.
Then tomorrow, we've got stuff on our radars. You're not going to want to miss some recommendations from the three of us for stuff.
Yes.
And then on Wednesday, it's game night, right?
Yeah.
We're playing board games.
Get on
once
board.
Again.
That's right.
Get on board.
Get on board. That's awesome. Thursday, we're back with Secret Identity. Can we guess? Can we hear Dan sing that song one more time? Find out Thursday.
Exploding.
Find out
And
Thursday.
then Friday, oh my gosh, it's finally here. Legend of Korra, the new continuation of the Avatar: The Last Airbender, one of our favorite shows of all time.
Yes. And the funny thing is, the background made me realize Journey is a lot like Avatar: The Last Airbender. Because it's the whole
feels like
beginning of the
airbending.
thing starts in like the desert area.
Oh,
you're
airbending.
Yeah. So Alex Muffins Friedman sent this in.
Thank you,
so
Muffins.
much.
Yeah, this is a very cool background. That's
Thank
you see
you,
the tiny
Muffins.
little us sitting
That's
there.
like what it's like being in a relationship with you, right? All day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like you don't know. Dan.
If you bake him, thank you, Muffins. All right, let's get into the show.
Ever since we were little kids, when Nintendo was about to announce a new franchise and it was shrouded in mystery, everybody would guess Kid Icarus. I know Alex.
Everybody would want with bated breath
Yes.
Kid Icarus.
And I personally think that has a lot to do with the nostalgia of what Kid Icarus, the idea of Kid Icarus was better than actually the reality of Kid Icarus.
And they've already kind of rebooted everything, but
And
he was
also,
kind of the last top
he's
tier.
awesome in Super Smash Brothers, and that's why people are like, "Oh, he must have been awesome because he's so awesome in Super Smash Brothers."
Or
I don't
in
think that game was very good.
Captain
Actually,
and the Game Master.
Yeah,
There's
definitely
that,
the Game
yeah.
Master. I went back and played a sort of emulator of it like 4 years ago or something.
Yeah, I never really-
on like the Game Boy Advance when you got an emulator.
Disappointing,
whatever.
or
No, I
liked
really
it?
like that game. It's fun because
well, it's finally happened. Kid Icarus Uprising was released for the 3DS, the new handheld 3D system from Nintendo. So a very unconventional reboot for the character, and very wildly different than what he's ever been before. This is a game that's really bifurcated into two different games. There's the flying game and the on-ground running game.
it's like Space Harrier and whatever the hell that on-ground running
Yeah,
game
like a
is.
third-person action game, with sort of hybrid melee shooter. And there is a pretty complex control scheme that involves requiring you to use the stylus to shoot, aim and shoot, and when you're on the ground to move the camera around. You guys can talk more about that. I don't have to go into too much of specifics for that. But it's a really interesting way to go for Kid Icarus. I'm wondering, Alex, if this scratched the itch that you had been always hoping for. Every time we went into E3, when we would go
Kid Icarus.
E3 preview show, you'd be like, I hope there's a Kid Icarus. And
Yeah.
we finally got that.
Yes, I did. I finally got a game with that title.
My first question to you
Yes.
is, I know all three of us are left-handed, but you guys are sort of like faux left-handed, because you
Yeah.
guys do a lot of stuff right-handed.
Correct.
Which bugs
I believe
me.
it's called ambidextrous.
Yeah, it's more of like
Lucidus,
lying.
No, but I don't remember you, but the things that I do left-handed, the reason why I can be quantified as left-handed is I only write left. I.e.
But you play computer games
hold
with...
a stylus.
Correct.
and
I'm the same way.
that's key.
And
I
I
play
cut
drum.
key, and
I
I
play.
cut left.
That's
I
key.
play drums
Yeah.
right-handed because I sat down at a right-handed drums when I learned how to play drums.
I play
guitar right-handed because.
But you guys use a
only
mouse
right-handed guitars.
with the right hand,
Yeah.
and I can only use a mouse with my left
I
hand.
throw right, and I like punch right.
You
when I get
throw
in a
right?
fight.
See, that's wrong.
I don't throw right.
You don't throw right?
No, I catch.
You throw wrong.
Throw left. I throw
Anyway.
correctly. Anyway.
Oh my God. Who's
That's
up
all
first?
So-
prelude to
so,
say
yes.
that controls are very specific.
Control. Yeah. I've always
You can
had a
swap
problem.
them any way you possibly want.
Well,
but-
yeah,
Except
okay.
there's only a nubbin on the left. And
Yeah.
you can buy, they sell a thing.
Really?
They sell a lefty thing. It's called like the controller.
Why don't
or
they
something.
just put that in? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. The Vita has one. I mean, like the PSP has one. They have the technology. It can't be that more expensive for your
Probably is, though.
$300
If it's like-
DS.
but here's the thing: is I think that's with like Apple. It's like if it's 2 cents more expensive in manufacturing times a bajillion of the things they make, that they lose millions of dollars.
So here's the thing. Here's the problem. I have
Just
this.
thinking.
So first off, the good stuff, right? I thought the 3D was great.
Yeah, very cool.
The fact that they gave you a stand alleviates the problem with the 3DS in toto.
Except the fact that it's a portable game system. The
Yeah.
whole point of it
I know.
is to be.
I know. It sort of it puts a big spotlight on the problem with the thing. I see why they have you can just turn the 3D off in the 3D system because you can't hold it because the moment and it's really set. It's like this is
The parallax.
that now it's not 3D. It's just disgusting looking. That is oh my god the most amazing thing ever.
Crosstalk,
This not
crosstalk.
lost it again. Lost it. So anytime you even move your hand like this a little bit, it's bad. So I totally agree. But they needed that in order to go, look, see, isn't the 3D good?
Did you play the majority of this with the stand?
Yes.
Because
Oh,
Kid
yeah.
Icarus, the game comes with a stand.
Yes, I played the majority of it with the stand.
I wish I
because-
had.
Because every time, but then
I took it with me on the plane. So
You
that's
can
why.
put the
you
stand on the
could've- you
plane.
could've-
But I didn't take the stand
Better on
with
the
me.
stand on a plane than at home for me.
I didn't take the stand
Because
with me because
at
I'm like,
least
it's a
the thing is,
portable
like-
game, yay! Anyway,
No,
go
yeah.
ahead.
Anyway, but when the 3D is right on, it's gorgeous.
I agree.
So love that. Love the sort of space harrier-ness of it. Made me realize that sometimes on-rails games can be very, very fun.
Absolutely.
But
but then you land.
But then I land, and it's like, swipe to spin the camera. What the fuck is happening here? But the other thing is, the DS, the 3DS, it is broken for 10% of the population, in my opinion. It is just broken. Using 4 buttons spaced separately from each other as a D-pad does not work very well at all. I cannot control this game. So I had a very hard time playing this game because I was constantly trying. I mean, I tried every combination. Firing with my right hand, which was like playing with like a little baby gimp arm. I was like, what are you doing? Shoot him! He's right there! Why are you not doing it? You know what I mean? I was like, what is this thing used for? Jesus! Then I would switch over to the other thing. I even tried playing it with my thumb controlling this and doing this at the same
don't
time.
cross hands?
I mean, I tried everything, and I just
I
could
can picture
never.
you at home, like muttering to yourself. All right, let me just try this one.
I totally did. I totally did. There was no combination of anything that even remotely felt like it was the way this game was supposed to be played at all. I constantly felt like I suck at moving. Like I felt like when I see Heather try to play like WoW, and the camera's up in the air, and I'm like, babe, why is the camera up? And she's like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
That's how I felt playing all games where you're aiming with the fucking. I mean, this is why I can't enjoy like the Metroid games on the 3DS that are supposedly
mean on the
amazing.
original DS,
Or
yeah.
on the DS, yeah. You know, it's broken, and I get it. It's only 10% of the population, so they're like,
Screw those guys.
literally, that's how I felt this game was. Screw the left-handed people.
It sucks
Because
that we
just can't-
literally don't have a right-handed voice on this show.
I'm sure it's amazing because this, like I said, the space harrier-ness of it was great, and I felt like, oh, okay, I'm getting it. I mean, there was a little bit of like, you can only fly for 5 minutes. God, we got to keep punching that home so they know why we're landing. I didn't need that. I don't care. Half the game's in space, half the game's in walkie.
Dan,
But it was not enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, similar over here. I will say I think the game is pretty awesome. Didn't grow up well. I don't have really the affection for Kid Icarus that you guys have. I mean, I liked it, but I never felt like, oh my god, it wasn't my favorite Nintendo game by a long shot. And I don't know if it's just me, but I thought the graphics were phenomenal for what it is, and I kind of feel like they were better than any Wii graphics. Most Wii graphics I've ever seen. The
when you're
resolution's
flying,
smaller.
When you're flying,
But-
it's playing a movie.
Right.
It's playing a movie, and it's only rendering.
It's only
the
rendering
stuff
me
in it.
and the
then when you
guys.
land, it's rendering everything. But
Right.
when you're flying, it's beautiful because it's
beautiful.
showing
It's
you
like
a movie.
painterly clouds
Yeah.
and
I mean, it's showing you.
yeah, interesting.
Oh, you mean it's just, oh, I see. It's just running through the movie
I mean, it's like
and then
Sewer
the
Shark.
people in front.
It's
yeah,
Sewer Shark.
it is.
Crazy.
Interesting. Mind-blowing.
And my coordination aside, like, the combat system's really fun, and the leveling mechanic is really cool, and combining weapons to make other weapons. Like, everything about the game was I thought just really cool and exhilarating. And flying around, exhilarating. I didn't play it in 3D. I tried to play it in 3D as much as I could, even on the stand. Could never find. I had to hold myself like this, but I get whatever, because I'm bent over on a table.
I did it at the dining room table. I actually had like the perfect setup because my dining room table was high enough that I was just like.
It is absolutely ridiculous.
It's literally called a handheld system.
Yeah.
And you can't hold it in your hand
can't
and
hold
play
it in your
it.
hand. And if you put it on a weird stand, like they're trying to retrofit. I feel like Nintendo.
Yeah, they're out there.
Their peripheral, like. And then the Wii Plus is this plastic thing that you stick on to make the thing that we initially sold you a little bit better. Like, they're the opposite of Apple. They're the opposite of, it's about the purity of the design, the ease of use. It is like everything is trying to it's like they're lying. It's like someone who's lying in an argument and they realize that they're lying and they gotta like, oh, what I really meant to say is it's like they have to rationalize why they're saying what they're saying to you. So the 3D was unusable for me, but it still looked good, not in 3D. Unusable because of, even on the stand, I have to hold my body in an uncomfortable, weird way, which is bizarre that I have to bend.
Handheld 3D.
Right.
Suck it.
And then if I'm holding it in my hand, as you're saying, because you're moving the thing, the parallax is so specific that maybe some people, maybe my eyesight, I needed to be more specific than others. The stylus, I tried, like Alex, I tried every configuration. I ended up just, I actually probably should have went back to my first thing I did was just use my thumb instead of the stylus, just kind of like using an iPad, and it just wasn't as precise as it needed to be. I mean, it almost did the trick, but then I just muscled through the rest of the game, holding the stylus with my right hand,
baby gimbal.
not like a pen, but like this.
Yeah.
And it kind of did the trick, but it's like, why is it fun to play a game
over and above
that is
the controls? I mean,
that's all about it goes. It's an excellent game. My problem is really only with the hardware implementation. Everything else, it's a really well-made game. It looks great. It plays great. Like
music was pretty good too.
Hardware-wise,
and sounds were fun.
I thought
that there's audio talking.
I was just going to bring that up.
Actually, doesn't really do
not very
right, and
dialogue.
it really does a great job of telling you the story as you're playing.
Right.
It's constantly, and it's a little odd in the sense that a handheld game, I think, it's a game I had to play with headphones, or else it would have been the most ridiculous thing ever. And the writing, they go for the joke and all these meta jokes, and I wasn't a fan of just how silly it was, and it's constantly, I mean, there's some fun stuff about him referencing the old game and like showing, well, is this what this guy looks like? And it comes up with this 8-bit version of it. She's like, no, he looks different now, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there's some clever stuff to that, but I liked how it conveyed the story as I was playing, rather than cutscene, which I sit and watch, and then I play some, and
cutscene where it's just text, which is usually how Nintendo flies.
And cutscene was happening on the bottom screen while I'm playing on the top. You know, I thought that was really clever. There's a lot of really fun ideas. I thought it was really interesting how you sort of wager your hearts against the difficulty level.
Yeah.
But then it ticked me off that every time I died, it just reduced the difficulty level in order for me to continue.
I
couldn't try it again.
Interesting. I thought that was interesting.
But I want to be able to try it again at the difficulty level that I was challenging myself with, rather than being forced to knock down or start completely at the beginning. And for me, I agree 100% with you guys. This game is awesome when it's Space Harrier. The flying stuff is spectacularly fun, and it reminds me of how much fun I have with like Panzer Dragoon.
Yeah.
Those kinds of games. And it looks awesome, and I played the whole thing in 3D, even though a couple times I was like, blorf, you know. But and I was playing it on a plane for the most part in my hand, and I was getting like cramps, and it was terrible trying to hold that right trigger and use those buttons, and like it was awful. I had to like take breaks every few minutes and massage my hand.
It was not a good
terrible.
But
when I was liking this game, I was really liking it. And unfortunately, when you land and all the third-person action stuff is so ridiculously complex, and then they force you to do these platforming sections, which highlight all the thing that's wrong with controlling a third-person platformer this way. Like, in order to move the camera, I gotta swipe, and I'm trying to figure out how to move forward and dash, and I'm dashing into things and falling off ledges and going to my death because they make you do these impossibly complex platforming things that are moving underneath you. It's like, this is not the way to control this game. Let me go back and fly and be controlled and just worry about where I'm shooting and where I'm dodging. That's so much more fun. But there's tons of neat weapons to collect. There's a lot of really smart unlockables. The way they do that is really smart. Lots of kind of achievement-esque.
There's a lot of good here. It's just that it's so glaringly. It's like a giant light on the controls for this are wrong. And it's one of my problems I have even with things for the Wii, where we're doing like the Metroid Primes of the world. Because it's not, the fidelity isn't there. And I know it's me. I'm sure there's some people that are like liquid knives with this. But I've never felt like I'm in control of a Nintendo game in the last 5 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And they're great. I mean, they're fun, and they're like, oh, it's so great. Bro.
Yeah, it's a game that I'm so glad I played and wanted to enjoy more. I wanted to keep playing it. I had to set it down and massage my hand on it, and I really didn't like certain sections of it. But the level design is really clever. How the levels are so different from one another. The enemies are really interesting. It's a well-designed game in a lot of ways. It's just hard to love because it makes it that way.
Yeah. All right, everybody, be sure to stick around. We're going to be answering one of your Twitter questions right after this. But first, we want to thank our sponsors, Jeff Cannata.
I want to tell you about a very important creature that you might find in the wild. It is called the Gamefly. This is a magical creature that can transport a video game of your choice from the ether right to your doorstep. I think you should look into the Gamefly. The Gamefly is renowned for being the largest online video game rental service. It offers you a choice of over 7,000 new and classic titles across all consoles and handhelds.
That's nice.
You can start your plan as low as $15.95 a month, and then you will get
$15.95?
$15.95 a month. Very cheap.
$15.95.
A lot less. I mean, think about it. If you play one game a month,
if you play one game every 2 months.
Yeah, you're saving.
Every 3 months.
You're saving money.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't possibly check the math on that, but I'm sure you're correct.
I don't do math, but I think it's 5-6 months.
There's no late fees. There's no due dates. Shipping is always free. You done play a game? You send back game. It's so easy, even Igor could do it.
You done play game? Send back game.
Sun go down, moon go up.
Dan is code.
Dan is like, I've been wanting to talk about the sun and moon cycles for so long. Finally.
Did you ever see Big Man on Campus? Bob, Mooga, Ooga, Luga, Luga, Luga.
I like how you are referencing Big Man on Campus.
Anyway.
Anywho, Gamefly will give you 15 days of a free trial if you go to gamefly.com/TTRS.
TTRS.
You can keep games forever if you really want to keep them. You don't have to send them back, but you pay a reduced fee. It's a great service and we recommend it. Go to that link, gamefly.com/TTRS.
Tartarus.
Send in your background.
Join us tomorrow for On My Radar.
Today's Twitter question comes to us from Ronald Huss at rhuss2. What Star Trek captain do you think each of you most personify? Kirk, Picard, Pike, Archer, Janeway, Sisko. I love that he goes, etc.
Etc. I think that's all of them.
Well, theoretically it could be Sulu.
Yes.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Spock took over.
I don't know if he was actually
in the JJ, right? Wasn't he? He was.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Acting captain or actual
captain?
captain?
Trachtenberg. I think it's obvious that Alex would be Kirk.
Hey.
Why is that obvious?
Because he's constantly having sex with blue women.
And I love blue women.
Green. She's green.
Whatever. I'll take anything.
I wish I was Picard. Just because I wish I was British.
Got it. And
but I think
because you want. What the actor's career?
Yeah.
Pretty
You'd
much.
love to be that captain. So.
But I think I'm probably closer to Pike. Yeah.
I feel like
Probably.
you might be. Who's the guy? William Fraker. Does he ever captain that ship?
Number one, Jonathan Frakes. You mean?
Jonathan Frakes. Yeah.
You mean William Riker?
He took
or
Frakes
William
and Riker
Fraker?
and made him into one name.
We saw how I got
Fraker.
there.
Yeah.
I'm not
Fraker
up to
is
date.
from Battlestar, right?
I'm not up to date. I mean.
You don't know what we're talking about.
I think you're more Janeway.
Probably.
Oh, we're gonna both agree she's Janeway.
Chris Pine's Kirk.
That's you?
More than anyone else. I identify with him.
Well,
Because you
As
don't
a
even eat
captain.
apples, dude.
Because he's younger. You know.
oh, mate, because he's younger.
That's the first thing. That's genius.
Amazing.
That is so genius. Like you have to really have watched that movie recently.
Yeah.
But I probably would most identify with one of the guys who was acting captain for like a hot second.
And he was like,
then,
God,
like,
you
this
take
is
it back,
too
take it
hard.
back.
Yeah, and then like
Hysterical.
got taken over.
Hysterical.
Yeah.
The one time Spock had like 5 minutes on the bridge and was like, God
Acting
damn.
Captain Woody Allen.
No, how do we?
How do I? Forward?
Racist. All right.
Thank you so much, Ronald Huss.